the car this week, Steve-O.
Yep.
And we've got the dash to look at. So
interesting.
It's not a bad setup that Nissan have given us. It's very functional, like big buttons. Everything is only really 1 or 2 button presses away. But the screen is small, the maps are useless. There's better on the market out there, so I think that's what we have to do.
There's better out there, but this is made for people like me, Dave. Simple.
It's simple. I do like my tech. I want to see my my maps, my off-road maps up. I like to sync my, because I've got the stereo in my car, the EC Off-Road one. I like to sync up, see what all the Cymarine app is doing, so I can see what current is going in and out of my Anderson plugs and my fridge and the solder and all that sort of thing. So basically it gives you access to turn what is basic into something that's very good.
But will yours come with a CD player?
No, it doesn't.
So there is one up.
What's it? Yeah. All right, we've got Caitlin in the back. She's 21. Do you know what a CD player is?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Oh. Thank you.
All right. So, but we're not just going to do this. We're doing the dash as well.
Yes, the dash. Look, it's good. It's got all the correct things that you need to see, I guess. But there's so much better out there. You jump into today's cars, and it's just not like this anymore.
The tank has shown that. Like, it's half the price of a TOL Patrol.
I don't know how to drive your tank, though. You said put it in 4-wheel drive. I was looking for something, but I couldn't work it out.
It is a balance between buttons.
But I do like
the
cluster change on these. It just highlights and just modernises these cars. Yeah.
Let's go get it all put in, and I'll do a little mini review, because I've promised a mini review to you guys a long time ago on the EC Off-Road screen. So I'll do it at the end of this video. Alright, the stereo is in, and I must say I'm pretty happy. There's so much more detail that you can get out of this digital dash that you can't get out of the standard one. I'll show you what I mean. Alright, there's the close-up view. Now I'm touching the button on the top right now, and you go between all the different modes. So straight away I've got all the standard fuel, oil pressure, all that stuff around the outside, battery voltage. But now I've got pitch and roll. What's happening with the drive line, a much better, we haven't hooked the radar up, that's the IBA there. I do find the revs are a tad laggy, but there's so much more detail if you want to see. And you've got all these options that you can do. Have a look at, like, this would be good for full driving. I can see what the tyres are doing once we set it up. We haven't put the proper sensors in the tyres for this car yet. Down on this menu on the bottom right, that's where you see it, your road, rock, sand, mud, all of that sort of thing. And on the far left, you can have a look. That's if you're going to be full driving, that would be fantastic. You can see what the pressure of the tyres are. We haven't fitted the TPMS sensors yet, but you can see if you're in 4 low, 4 high, that sort of thing. Everything just looks better. Now, as far as the screen, and as promised, I did say I'd give a review, because on my last YouTube video about this, I promised to come back, and it's taken me probably a year, but I've got to learn a lot about this system. Look, if I had to rate this stereo, it would get a 8 out of 10. So there is a couple little buggy things, like occasionally it will shut down, or the cameras might not behave exactly the way it should. But in saying that, if I bought another brand new Patrol tomorrow, I'd put this screen straight in it, because all the extra functionality that you get brings it into, 2023-4. It's Nissan, and that's been the theme of this whole playlist and video series. This is the car that Nissan should have built, and they should have built one with a stereo like this, and that's why it's in there. In brief, so that's the whole bit that gets replaced. You still have the wood grain bit at the bottom. That's not there at the moment because this car's pulled into a million pieces. I use this space every single day. That's where the wallet and other stuff goes. I like that. As far as all the air conditioning functions, they all work perfectly. It's got heated seat buttons here, which don't do anything at all. I'm not sure why they're there. And the only sort of other, I wouldn't say discredit, but it is like when you put your fingers on it, you can see it. But guess what? Screens do that, and that's what happens in this world. This is all set up standard, and ECF Road have been much better at setting this up for you. In the early days, I spent a lot of time getting this set up the way that I want it. Now it's mostly there. I just need to personalize it a bit. You can sync to your phone, Apple. I haven't got a Android, but my Apple phone, I believe it does work for Android, but it connects within about, I don't know, 5 seconds. And you can go to your Wi-Fi settings, hook it up to your hotspot. It's all pretty good. Applications, the first one I'll download is probably the HEMA Maps and Memory Maps, because I use that all the time. I also have my Marine app, and I connect to Google, because then you've got all your Google Maps and YouTube and all that sort of thing. But the fact that you can add so much apps to this screen you got to sign in. I'm not going to do it because it's someone else's car one day. But there's so much you can download and customize to bring this into the 21st century. If we are talking about the good and the bad, GPS works brilliantly, can't fault that at all. We just have a little GPS sensor that pops out above the screen there. It's nice and neat. You've also got this extra microphone, which is pretty much useless. If you want to have this stereo, buy yourself some AirPods, because that's how you're going to be making phone calls going forward. But to be honest, all car phone kits aren't that great anyway, and you can communicate better with AirPods. So I've just adopted that and been pretty happy, to be honest. Alright, that's your little quick look at what we're doing with the dash and stereo. Still heaps more to go. You can see I've got no roof lining in. We've got to talk about what we're going to do with the seats. There's a tow bar. There's lots of stuff still happening. So keep watching. It's all in the playlist for Samurai, and I'll see you next time on YouTube. Yeah.